think he forgot.
All right. So why are we looking at why is it a well, it was a shit PLE. You first, and I kind of bridge it a little bit, but I think
It's just like no one cared about who won. People wanted to see certain things go down. Like Cargo, no one cares about. Like, what is the whole point? Unless they're gonna have Naomi screw Cargo over, like she was saying that she's gonna cash in when Cargo wins at SummerSlam, I guess against Tiffy. The other King of the Ring, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, where Randy Orton had a conscience, but he didn't have a conscience, and then Cody Rhodes wins on like just a move out of nowhere after being destroyed for like 5 minutes. Same thing with Sami Zayn against Killer Cross, and it's like no bad guy won any of these matches except for Cena. And that was because of the whole Rollins thing that came in. Like it was a boring pay-per-view. Like why are they so afraid to have just disruption and chaos happen where a bad guy won. The person no one cares about won. Like it's just I don't know. Like why even have Asuka there? Like she just came back from injury. Why even chance her getting re-injured like in 2 major matches? Why don't you just have Alexa Bliss win the other one if this was going to be the issue? And then you can kind of tie it in with Charlotte where, Chelsea Green's, her service comes out and disrupts the match and Cargo wins. And then Charlotte comes out to like save her. There's ways of working with it. Like why chance Asuka, who just came back from a nasty knee injury, took 13 months, and then you have her lose anyway? Randy Orton, like, I don't know. It would have been better if Randy and Cody both won, and then at SummerSlam, both of them face Cena. Like, no one cares about Cody. No one really doesn't.
well, I think that's what they might be doing.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sami Zayn is like, we're sick of Sami Zayn. You have Karrion Kross. He's like your face of social media, and you don't utilize him. Like, just have him win. Like, give him momentum. Like, having him lose, where basically he's beating the crap out of Sami Zayn. Again, another one where they're beating the crap out of the person for a good 5 minutes, and all of a sudden, one move out of nowhere, they're done. Like, it's just fucking stupid. Like, at least have it go back and forth where at least Sammy's getting moves in, but he was getting destroyed by Karrion Kross. And then the other thing, every other submission match, it's over. No, he does it 3 times. When the fuck did the 3-time hand come on? Every other submission match, it's been one hand. It drops, that's it. Game over. All of a sudden, he's doing it 3. I was like, wait a minute. Why are they doing it 3 times?
Yeah, they're going back to the original, 80s thing where, like I said, it would be like that. But now...
And do it on the first one.
That was like 80s for professional wrestling.
Right, you got 3 chances.
That's what, I don't know why they did that, but it was like for a 3 count. 1, 2, and you ever see that in the 80s? And it was like,
yeah, Hogan did it all the time.
Yeah, but it's just like, okay, that's the way they used to do it, but like with the MMA, you don't, play games with it. It's just like, okay,
if you look at the last 2 submissions, right? But remember the Gunther Jey Uso match, or even the Gunther Pat McAfee match. One hand dropped. That's it. It was over. They didn't do it 3 fucking times. They did it 1 time. It dropped. It was over. But all of a sudden, they did 3. It was like, keep it.
You can't
constant.
You can't revert back.
Everyone knew Sami was going to win because it's fucking. Who cares about Sami Zayn? Like, no one cares about him. People cared about Karrion Kross, and yet they don't fucking use him.
No, they did not utilize him well, and that's the thing with this PLE. My 2 cents, it's not SummerSlam, it's not WrestleMania. I mean, it's not the Rumble. It's not even Survivor Series. Survivor Series became a regular PLE. It's not the big hoopla. My whole take of it's not like really one of the big 4. It's a regular monthly PLE.
King of the Ring has become a major thing every year. They recently changed it where you get a title shot now. But SmackDown was better. Like, this was like a basic show. They could have done this show on fucking SmackDown and had SmackDown show on this one. It's just SmackDown, like that one tag team match was a lot better than the whole fucking PLE. It was a waste. Me and Mike fast forward through most of it. Like, oh, we don't want to watch this. All right, Cargo won. Yay. All right, Rhodes wins after being his ass whooped for a while. And then Randy's out there. I was waiting for Randy to come back in and beat the crap out of him. But he didn't do that. He just fucking walked off. But like the tag team match on SmackDown, you watch SmackDown?
Oh yeah, and it's like that finale. I had Michaela with me at that moment, and even she paused and was like, it was just on in the background. She's like, why is everybody coming in and fighting? And it was like all the it's like you got the Wyatts and every tag team continuously running in, and just like you got this huge brawl, and it's just like, oh, I used to love those.
Right, but that I was at least more entertaining than any of the matches. Like you have Roxanne Perez come in, she jumps on Rhea to help Raquel. She gets thrown out of the ring. She gets kicked. She gets a garbage can put on her, and then that's it. She's out. She just came in, and all of a sudden she disappeared. Like they just have these stupid things of people just disappearing. Like it wasn't even a major thing. You just basically kicked the garbage can on somebody's head. Io Sky jumped off the freaking steel cage and landed on people with the fucking trash can on. Did she disappear for the rest of the match? No! She was basically... Like, it was like... I don't understand. Like, there's no story. Like, they just fuck up the matches. And then, Randy and Cody were not in sync whatsoever.
No, you would think they would.
The beginning of that match was horrible. It was just like, it was a mess. Were people worried about Iran and everything? Like, were they ready to run out of there? The end, the freaking post show was the best when they were saying Matt Cardona.
I was just going to say that just across the little sea there, it's just like, okay, it's like, seriously, Iran is going to end up looking like Alderaan if they keep fucking around. But, like, not a regime change, more of well, to me, Iran's going to have to figure things out for themselves, and that's what I think we're going to do with, they're trying to do with that, and it's like, ugh. Anyway.
I was just throwing it out there just because of the whole situation with the Middle East. People didn't want them going over stuff like that.
I think there was some, complaints about travel and some things like that after, but I don't think that was too much of an issue at that point either. I mean, that's the thing though. They it was very too comfortable and way too safe. They just played it easily through this PLE, and that came down to, again, shades of I hate to say it, lazy booking, but on many fronts they could have done better.
But the matches were scheduled to be interesting, but they just every single match kind of dropped the ball except for the last match, and it just wasn't like, you knew Roxanne Perez was going to come in and disrupt the match and help Raquel win, but that completely backfired. Rhea still won, which I was thinking Raquel was going to win. Randy, Cody, it probably would have been better as fucking John Cena comes out and disrupts the match, and the disqualification. Turns out they're both going to wrestle Cena at SummerSlam. That would have been a better ending. We know fucking Cody's not getting the belt in SummerSlam. Karrion Kross should have won, but no, they have to push Sami Zayn for some reason. And then you had the women's Cargo. Everyone knew Cargo was going to win, but why risk Asuka? Like, there's other ways of disrupting the match that you can make it more interesting. And then there was another match, was there?
Yeah.
Was it the tag match?
The one they threw in there, it keeps coming, for me, keeps coming back to Cross and Sami Zayn. That was not planned, I don't think.
But still, though, have Karrion Kross win. You've been dicking this guy around for 3-4 fucking years. That's the first PLE in 4 years. And you dick him over again.
It's not only that though. It's just like, okay, they keep for whatever reason Sami Zayn elevated.
Why?
They kept him with him. They kept him going. Yeah, exactly. Why? I don't know.
Have Karrion Kross win and build that feud up. With Karrion Kross losing, what's the point of going with the feud? Is it just a one done deal and that's it? All of a sudden you're going to bury Karrion Kross again? Like, there's no momentum now. Sami Zayn beat him. That was it. Sami Zayn beat him. There's no momentum of keep going with the story of him trying to make him turn. There's no, I don't see it going anywhere now. You had Sami Zayn beat him.
Right.
That should be the end of the story. There should be no more continuation, but yet they're still going to fucking continue it for some reason. Unless they're going to have Karrion Kross actually win a fucking match. I don't know even the last time he won a match. It was against the Wyatt 6 when it was with him and the Authors of Pain.
I'm just thinking of the run-ins. like I said, the run-ins for the Cena fight. I mean, they should have just made it like a triple threat or introduce, any number of things, any number of
Yeah, but
stipulations.
Rollins not cashing in yet. I don't think he's going to cash in. Either he cashes in against Gunther,
Ooh,
or he's not cashing against Cena because
no.
Cena's leaving with the belt, and then he's probably going to cash in on whoever has the belt last. Like he wants to be the one true champion.
This is okay. This is deeper into the rumor mill, but it is a deepening thought here. What if Gunther drops the belt,
What if
and
who?
then he could use it, against Goldberg,
Gunther, like
the Money in the Bank against Goldberg. I mean, that
he
is
shouldn't.
a sad possibility, but it's a possibility.
I understand, but you don't do it against. Don't have Goldberg win. There's no reason for this guy to even be fucking wrestling. There's no
He
reason for this guy to be wrestling.
he must have, he must have really, it's like, oh, been excited about something. Oh, if I could do it, I'm going to do it. Blah blah blah, and a lot of hype up. And I think he was really putting himself over with the brass, or they
He's got
owed
two
him
moves.
something, or for whatever reason. I
He
don't.
can't wrestle anymore.
No, he can't. And the only reason he should be there in that match is if Gunther fucks him up so bad that it somehow increases the storyline against. You know what I mean? It's
That's just I don't understand. He's a flash in the pan now, and it's basically you had him beat Brock. That should have been it, and then he
yeah.
lost it like not even a month later. Like there's no reason to have Goldberg with the fucking belt. He can't wrestle. He has two
Well,
moves. He has the spear and the jackhammer. That's it. And I
I
don't
don't know
think
if
he
he
can even do
really
the
has
jackhammer
that.
anymore.
No, he doesn't have the. I don't think. I think he still has that, but it's the spear that or either
But
that
he's not in shit. Like he's not. He should have stayed on fucking TV. He should have been the coach for Goldberg's, and that's it.
Well, here's the other thing, too. Though it's like, okay, they really went out of the way for Gunther to end up being in that role, and it comes down to, okay, why Asuka in the finish of the Queen of the Ring, to shine the the older wrestler to it's like, okay, boss, I'll take care of you. Meaning, if you're in the ring with an older, let's say Goldberg is like, okay, you go tell Goldberg, it's like, okay, I'll take care of you. And if anyone could do that, would be, well, Gunther. And that, like I said, there's reasons why they really sized him up. And where they're going story wise, no, I don't see. That's another story or possible storyline that this guy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see Seth fully cashing because every time he's going to cash in, someone's going to come out and disrupt it.
I
It's going to be.
agree with your assessment with the Money in the Bank. I concur with that. It'd be later on in the year because I
Oh, I remember
evidently.
the other match, Solo versus Fatu. See, that was interesting. You had Tonga or Tanga, whatever his name is, come back. He's been gone since freaking was it a
Well, it's
War Games?
about that. I was going to say, how'd he fit in with that crew too? Like I said, Tonga Loa is now, it's Tala Tonga, formerly Tonga Loa, which is Haku's kid. I don't know if he's adopted or what, but dealing with Haku's kid, holy cow! But that's the thing. You think his stage name is something? You really should see his real name. I'm not even going to begin to pronunciate that. I mean, that is
Right.
like, it's not even Polynesian, or it's showing Samoan. But anyway, it is a long, really funky name. So it's like, okay, well, we could just deal with Tonga. Tonga's fine. Let's get that straight. But once again, a second generation Haku's kid, and any Swan or anything dealing with Haku is like, okay, hats off, because Haku was just a monster, a granite-handed, Hulk of a guy, but
Right.
not nice as shit.
He looks like the Indian guy that was the big giant tall guy that was like started dancing near the end because he ended up just being a gimmick.
Yeah, Great Khali.
Was it the Great Khali?
Yeah. But
No, not him. The other guy, the one recent one. He was part of a tag team with Jinder Mahal. You know what I'm talking about? Like all of a sudden he started dancing, he started hitting on the commentator, like the girl. Like they turned him into a giant gimmick for some reason. Jinder Mahal's like, "What are you doing?" Yeah, he looked like that guy a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably because of the hair and the way his facial features were. But that's who he reminded me of. I can't think of the guy's name. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's interesting. So someone lost a belt on a Night of Champions. Not the way I would have expected, but no one came out to help Fatu.
No.
Not even Jimmy.
Yeah, I was gonna say with that was a surprising absence with the those two as well. Going back though, it's like I did have notes with the the Punk and Cena match,
Sure.
and what I had like for like weeks on here, like 2 or 3 weeks now, was like, okay, Punk and Cena for the WWE title, in that one in a last time situation, and I did like how they ended it and finished it and everything, but just that match was crazy. It's like, let's just fast forward to kind of midway. You got the ref taking a nap, first ref nap. I love those. I usually that's the spot.
Right.
That's the angle. That's all you're gonna need. No, that's one ref nap is not enough anymore. Seth comes out in his flamer suit, and that's the thing. It's just like, where or what the f is he wearing now? And it's just like, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Then anyway, the muscle finally ends up putting Punk through the Arabic announce table. They finally went through it. Not that big of a bump though. It kind of slid through it. Anyway.
Yeah, then, it was. They didn't lift him high enough.
No. Right.
Like they were trying to get him up, and they barely got him above the table, and then slammed him into it.
Well, I was shocked the table broke. It's better than the table not giving it all. That was just kind of.
I think they're supposed to loosen the brackets on it, so when they do hit it, it pops open. So I think the commentator is supposed to know when they're about to come out, and then they kind of do something with the brackets underneath.
They're supposed to, and a lot of that stuff is really intentionally done off camera. But I think sometimes they miss the mark. Because it's like, okay, that table should have went. But then again, the other times too, where it's just like, okay, they were just setting up for I think Triple H was like setting up for something, and the table just gave. I mean, there was no pedigree or nothing. It was just, which happens, with tables and such. But anyway, at this point, yeah,
like when Rhea did her finisher on Raquel, standing on a table, standing on the ropes.
The cutest part about that, though, notice the referee grabbed the corner of the table. It was subtle enough what he did there, but he kind of
do it.
Right. He stabilized it. No one really noticed or called out the referee. Would call out the referee on anything like that, and it's just like
another street fight.
It was a good finish. I mean, it's a good finish to do a good match. Rewinding back to that one, the first couple minutes is like, oh, so what? This is just a regular match. No, once they started getting in with the canes, it was just like. Ooh, baby.
But it's not a street fight. Like, stop calling it a street fight match. Like, you're not in the streets. You're not outside. You're not in the back room. You're just in the ring. Just put no rules.
They're not calling it. They should.
Just call it something else.
They're staying away from hardcore. You don't want to say hardcore because first thing people's mind goes to about
the barbed wire
directions. We're talking about the metal or porn here, and it's just like, wait, what?
It's called a hardcore match then. There's no reason to call it a street fight. You're not in the fucking street.
No, that's my thing, though. They should call it a hardcore match. Or they got the copyright to say, okay, this is an Extreme Rules match. What does that mean? ECW rules. There are no fucking rules.
Always fight in the audience except or something.
Tap out or submission or pinfall. That's it.
Right. Or unconscious.
But that's the thing with ECW or anything in the independents. They kind of just to see what else is out there. I don't know why they tend to. They go in too many different directions. And speaking of which, going back here, changing gears back to it though. Cena cuts off the second ref to keep Rollins from cashing in on
cut him off.
The thing is, though,
Screw him.
Well, Robinson took the biggest bump of the night, and that includes, like I say, going through the Arabic announce table. For some, like, okay, why? Penta gets involved for some fucking reason
Like,
as
why
the
couldn't there be
muscle
one little
begins to
thing?
work on Cena.
Yeah, like Kenta needs to stop.
Yeah, I was
He
just
flew
like,
halfway across the world for what, 2 seconds?
well, then Braun kind of squished him on in pretty short order on the ramp.
They should have
And
just had
okay,
fucking Sami Zayn come out instead of
yeah,
fucking. Well, actually, Sami Zayn did come out and got destroyed by Breaker anyway. So who cares about Sami Zayn?
I was gonna say, and there, Bronson Reed ended up with an FU. I'm calling it an FU, not an AA. And but meanwhile, it's like I love it though, and this is what they were trying to do. But I think they undersold this aspect when Cena and Punk helped each other,
Mm-hmm.
and it somehow ended up in the match. You know, towards the end, it somehow ended up back to Cena versus Punk again. And okay, then you get Rollins coming in, big Punk with the briefcase, and then stomped him, and Cena kept the belt. I mean, this was, I don't know, crazy, chaotic, fun to some degree. But still, it's like, okay, how many run-ins? How many different run-ins for different, not even different reasons, are they really going to have with that?
It's going to be a while. It's going to be almost every PLE or every time that he has a chance, there's going to be some type of person running it.
Well, WrestleMania quality, and I could see if you nail a finisher early on in the match, but it goes on like this. But it's like, okay, signature moves and finishers are useless. Taking a time here, though, getting in with the traditions.
How was that?
What does it look like? I picked this up at, I was going to say Comic-Con, a Ren Fair at one point. And it's just like, okay, old red eye, oil of madness. If blindness persists, contact an actual physician. And this, I had like a wine of some sort in here. It's actually pretty good, but meanwhile, I haven't rinsed it out or nothing. And meanwhile, the original top and everything just kind of went. Basically, I would call this a pot, like something that we see in like World of Warcraft. Like, oh, it's a health potion, or something like this would be like, I don't know, a rage potion. But yeah, it's a mana pot in pretty much any video game. Okay. So I have my collection of fine things I'll be playing with every week. My goblets and drinking utensils and everything. I see it was, supposed to be crazy, chaotic, and fun. And as far as a PLE, it was just, like I said, I think it's more of a in your house level PLE. It was kind of, like a monthly in between. It wasn't as checking. It wasn't as big.
It really dropped the ball.
That's I also had the Raw covered, but it's just like, okay, yeah. It was all pretty much just a big build up for Night of Champions. Okay, I can see where they had the Ronin involved too. Still, Monday, rewinding back to Monday when Brian Steiner, Breaker almost speared Penta in half, and it's just like, okay, revancha cuando deje de orinar sangre. Basically, rematch when I stop seeing blood.
So what? There's going to be a Penta Braun Breaker rematch?
Yeah. No, I said something in Spanish and translated it. Too much of a joke, or not enough of a joke. Everything is there. But like I said, everything Monday was a build up for the PLE, but the SmackDown, yeah, Mateo. Okay, to rewind again though. It's like, okay, you got JC Mateo, and now you got Tonga in there, but I don't think Tonga is like really a part of the bloodline either. It's like they just like I said, just like, okay, general Polynesians over here, it's just like, okay, with the bloodline and things like that. Okay, at least these guys are all brothers and cousins, they're all otherwise related, and all, let's just say, second generation or and otherwise related. Right. Mateo is not even is he Hawaiian? Yeah, actual Hawaiian. And as far, I forget where he's even really from. It's like, well, but still, you can't, like, okay, this whole third of the world they just kind of book them all together. It's just like, well, you don't book all the Australians in the WWE. It's funny, like I said, it's like having a Puerto Rican in there with a bunch of Mexicans. It's just
So one match has been set up for tomorrow.
yeah.
Penta and Sammy are teaming up to go against Breaker and Bronson Reed.
Oh, that could be a squash.
Should be.
They'll have fun with it, but
it'll end up with them losing and Sami Zayn and Penta winning. And it says here special start time 6 p.m.
yeah. Why is that? I have no idea. To be brutally honest, I noticed that too, and it's just like, okay, that's fine. I'll be done watching by 8:30, which is a good time to finish. But I think what they're doing though with the the shows and PLEs and what have you is on location, or instead of changing start time. When they're in a funky time zone, they tend to do that, I think.
Right. But they're not. Pittsburgh is right below you, so it's still standard time.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be if they started at 8. That would still be Mountain Time. I don't know why they're doing that either. A lot of things have gotten kind of, I wouldn't say funky, but I'm thinking like overall business end. Everyone's talking with TKO, this, that, and other thing. It's like I think we've seen the worst of it, and as far as PLEs go, the shows go, like I said, this is better off for a SmackDown, but it was still a serviceable show. But like I said, this was, I know it was in terms more of a major PLE, but it has been brought down to, has been dropped down to what it is, a monthly pay-per-view. Which,
but
again, we don't need pay-per-views every goddamn month from every or multiple from every promotion.
Yeah, but this was the originally King of the Ring pay-per-view, so this is supposed to be a major event, and they just, especially when the winner of King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring get a title match, should have been more into it, but I don't know. I just felt like it just didn't do it. Hopefully, Sunday Night Event does better.
It's an in your house. Titles rarely ever change. Well, that has been a little bit different earlier in the year, but generally speaking, titles don't change too much during these shows. It's like I said, you more often on the Big Four, or occasionally do things off on Raw, but on the like a monthly in between, they'll still have some title changes, but not it's rare. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we have what? Sunday Night Main Event in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 weeks after that is SummerSlam.
Blessing right through the summer, and that's, I like the way they used in the main event as.
And then you have Evolution, same weekend as Sunday Night Main Event.
Yeah, that'll be. I thought that Evolution is earlier on, ain't it?
Yeah, but no, Evolution is on Sunday. Okay. Sunday Night Main Event Saturday, Evolution Sunday. Main issue is the big match they were trying to do is kind of squashed. But with Liv hurt, I don't know what they're doing yet.
Well, I just wanted to, since you brought that up, it's just like, okay, a lot of people getting bit with the injury bug lately. I mean, look at it this way. Like I said, Liv Morgan had that shoulder surgery. Then she had a Canadian stalker put away on federal charges, quite a few stalking charges. So, looking at things, he might actually do his time in El Salvador, but probably Alligator Alcatraz, the bulk of his time.
Right. They should just open up Alcatraz again.
Alligator Alcatraz. You haven't seen that? they make it just detainees, and it's like, I wouldn't say minimum security prison, but basically floating. It is a floating prison, but the only way across is like with the boat or things like that, and it's just like, oh, you could kind of leave, but it's surrounded by gators. You're going to be eaten alive, but you will be absolutely eaten alive by gators. So they're calling it Alligator Alcatraz, and it's like, it's fucked up. It's like fucked up and funny at the same time. I love it. It is what I voted for, but Judas Priest. So he's going to do the bulk of his time in Alligator Alcatraz, but that's all that Liv Morgan really needed, right? Otis out with the elbow for elbow surgery. Chad Gable, I think I'm going to say elbow. He's out for the rest of the year.
He's out for the rest of the year?
My understanding, yeah, Chad Gable is out for the rest of the year.
Well, that sucks.
Well, I'll get into that too. Bianca Belair, she's at the SummerSlam. Why? A pinky. No. You split you get to the next finger that's not broken and you wrestle. That's what you
Yeah.
do. No. She's out until SummerSlam because of a busted pinky. Meanwhile, Kevin Owens, my take on it, and we could do this, we could have a whole video on it too. That's the tale of any given Monday. Kevin Owens is done.
Neck
For all
injury is
intents and
that bad?
purposes, he's not going to have another serious run. If he comes back, it'll be like a Hall of Fame induction kind of.
They should just bring him back as like kind of like what Paul Heyman is, like, to coach somebody up or to help with the other like certain people, and because he was really good on the mic. So I don't know, it sucks. I actually
Well, it does
like
because
Kevin Owens. I didn't mind him. So
well, I'm just saying, with KO, he's out for a year. There was other things too where he was, he didn't slow down in the ring.
right.
If all things considered, I know he could still go. But with dealing with the neck and trust me, you don't want to fuck around and make a wrong move or kind of grin and forget about it. This is
Yeah,
a thing
well,
you
Big E has yet to come back. Bryan Danielson was out for a few years. Soraya was out for a few years.
Big E is done.
No, Big E, he doesn't want to come back. At this point, he just doesn't want to wrestle anymore. I think they cleared him.
He doesn't want to
He's just worried that
some degree.
Reactivated.
But still, it's like, okay, if he fights again, that'll be the last thing he does.
Edge,
that situation.
Edge or Copeland, whatever you want to call him, came back from neck injury. There's ways of coming back. You just got to make sure. Like even the Bella twin, like she left with the neck injury because of her move that put too much pressure on the neck. So there's ways of coming back from it. It just you just have to be careful.
Depends on the degree of damage and severity.
Even HBK had to leave because of the neck.
Yeah. But meanwhile, it's like, okay, El Grande Americano.
He hasn't been around. I wonder where he is.
No, he disappeared. I bet you he'll show up at the Royal Rumble though.
You think he'll show up at the Royal Rumble?
I think he'll show up at the Royal Rumble.
Oh, okay.
That's my thought.
He should show up in AAA.
Yeah. Well, I see what you mean. Okay, to get the warm-up match in and get a little practice in and things like this to kind of slowly. Yeah, I could see him do a fuck around AAA for a little bit. Bring back his Nacho Libre-esque.
Yeah, go back to the roots.
Yeah. No, we'll high five with the roots.
I don't know how they're gonna twist this story if Gable's out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, they tend to like mysteriously, take somebody off and things like that. But with injuries, it's like, wow, that's been quite a few injuries, and I was like, oh, it's like you look at some of these clickbaiting, internet nerds too, and it's just like, oh crap, you would think. I forgot where I was going with that too. Jade Cargill, I got distracted and wanted to get into something fun. So meanwhile, in the Queen of the Ring finals here, okay, you got of course Asuka, always in her finest. But meanwhile, you have Aurora Monroe, come in. Aurora Monroe. I guess she was used to be a teacher at a school for runaway teens or some crazy shit. I don't know, but yeah, she came out with the snowflakes and thunder and lightning, and
wait, when did she come out?
She beat Asuka and became the Queen of the Ring.
Oh, you're talking about Cargill.
Storm or Monroe. This is how deep nerd Timmy.
So I have a question.
Gets.
I have a question.
Her actual real name, African name, Aurora Monroe.
That's what I was like, what are you talking about? So Mysterio was doing like special masks, like here and there, and then Marvel put a cease and disorder on him coming out in certain masks. But yet Cargill can come out and do the whole Storm thing from X-Men, and no one says anything.
Yeah.
Disney was pissed off with Mysterio coming out in Captain America mask, Iron Man mask, a Thor mask. Like, he was doing all these Marvel themed ones, and he was told to stop.
But meanwhile, she comes out, and the worst part is, though, she comes out
good of an entrance
with snow, and the worst part is just the just enough to squeeze my roids. I tell you what, she actually had an interview post-match and, went into this whole thing. A storm is coming and it's just like, okay, I love the outfit. I love the gimmick.
No one cared. She gets no pop.
But still, don't overdo it or come up with your own gimmick or something.
But she gets no pop though. Like no one cares about her.
No, she doesn't want to be there. She doesn't really care. She's in there for, money and fame. But I don't see her putting the work in the ring. I just see her putting in the work at the gym. But still, it's like as far as ring work, Asuka couldn't shine that turd. That's the problem.
No.
That's my biggest problem with this PLE. It's just like even Asuka could not, possibly shine that turd. And meanwhile, in another week or so, I don't think even Gunther can shine the turd of Goldberg. You know what I mean?
That's why this whole pay-per-view just like was shit.
Yeah. That overall though, that really does seem to be the consensus, and everyone feels kind of that same way. Where it's just, I won't say disappointing. It served its purpose minimally, but it served its purpose, and considering that half the card was kind of scratched within weeks prior to, it really put a monkey wrench in a monkey in the wrench works. What? Anyway, but really put a wrench in the works. You know what I mean? By a monkey. Monkey got caught up with the gears with the wrench that he just put in the gears. Anyway,
so monkey wrote it.
Yeah, but that sort of calamity and what it does to the WWE's normal function, and that's kind of why it was boring to some degrees as it was. I think they played it certain things safe and easy, and I think that to some degree Triple H was just glad to get the goddamn thing booked without any more injuries or any more mishaps in a PLE that was questionable to the world to begin with.
Where's Logan Paul?
Why wasn't Logan Paul in King of the Ring? Yeah, that would have made a bit. I didn't hear that. We should. That's a homework for the week. If you don't hear about Logan Paul, that is a bit of an absence, though.
He would have been a better winner.
Yeah, I mean, he could just be popping out tomorrow night, as far as we know. Man, I think it's just limited. That's the thing, though. I don't see too much going on with Logan Paul because at best, he's a part-timer. At best.
He's got more talent than half the roster that was there.
Yeah, never paid his dues. I never, he never worked in, a real, smaller indie crowd and things like that. I don't know what he did boxing-wise.
But if you wanted to give him a title shot, like this would have been a great opportunity of having him win. And then have him go up against either Cena or Gunther.
This is the problem. This is the problems. We ain't booking this shit.
Yeah, they don't want a bad guy versus bad guy match, but yet the King of the Ring, the last 4 people are all baby faces.
Yeah.
And ooh, look who won. Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes. Ooh, look who won. Cody Rhodes.
What they had going on is like they have so many different small storylines interjecting, and that's when we saw that kind of that mid-card mosh pit. So you get lost in that shuffle that we speak of coming into a WrestleMania. I remember all that.
They should just go back to the old days where you have, it was a field of 16 people. You do basically semifinals all the way up to the pay-per-view. And then you have them do 3 matches, the two matches to see who's going to fight each other at the end of the night. That's what they should do, and that's what should King of the Ring always be about. King of the Ring used to be you had to go through a gauntlet. You had to win your match. Next person goes up, wins their match. Next person goes up, wins their match, and then you go against that person. You go against this person. It used to be like a gauntlet match where you go through matches and tiers all in one night. They don't even do that anymore. It's like.
Well, it's not about that.
Freaking matches made no sense.
It's the Night of Champions. It's not even the
not even the Night of Champions. There was 2 title defenses.
Thank you.
They should just call King of the Ring with a title match.
They have 2. One, I hate to say it, like too much production. We see in other places too much talent, but they really have too damn many PLEs. You don't need these extra pay-per-views every goddamn month.
But
it is too
I
much.
don't mind the pay-per-views every month. It's just book them right. Night of Champions should be every single champion. It's called Night of Champions for a reason.
Or
King of the Ring should be focused on King of the Ring.
And actually, like you said, the way
both
that the King of the Ring originally was, like I said, it was the King of the Ring tournament. That's what made it cool. That's what made it special. And when they veer away from the original lines for these shows, like I said, man, for me, it just comes down to in your house show.
Me and Mike were done in an hour and a half with the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Because we just didn't care about certain matches. Or, okay, this is boring.
Yeah.
But King of the Ring, they should have had 2 matches for each to do their thing to see who's going to fight later on the night. And then you have one other match. So there's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches. That's all you needed. But no, they threw in a street fight, which really is not a fucking street fight. They threw in the US title match, which they could have done on freaking SmackDown. They threw in Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn, which they could have done Monday night. Just put it back to the way it was. Well, why do people keep having to freaking change things if there's nothing wrong with that? You want to add women's? That's fine. You could have easily done it and have 3 matches for the men, 3 matches for the women, and the title match. That's it.
Yeah.
But don't call it freaking Night of Champions if there's only 2 titles being defended.
I was going to say they had to do something in there, and they short-sightedness or something that they really kind of they did blow with this one. They kind of botch it, and it'd be interesting to see how they book SummerSlam.
Hopefully they don't fuck it up. They have 2 nights.
SummerSlam historically, we feel a little bit better. We do always get the what we would expect or certain things like that. Of course not, but SummerSlam always got to end up with a better feeling for some reason.
Are they gonna have Gunther defend the title like at SummerSlam or Goldberg, which is like 3 weeks later? Because you're talking about 2 days of matches.
That's the other thing too. I think what they're going to a 5 match, trying to keep everything to 5 matches, which goes for what, 2.5 hours when you throw everything else in with these shows. So it's like, okay, that sounds about right, and I think that's what they're thinking too. I think a lot of this shit is new-ish, even though they've been doing it for years in some respects. But everything that they're going through is new, and they have been doing and trying a lot of things with the advertising and just about every aspect of business. I think they're learning by FAFO, which is definitely a Generation X thing to do. Right. It's a hell of a way to learn, but it's the way we learn.
So what? Right now, there's 2 matches set for SummerSlam.
Really? They had been established. I didn't even catch that yet.
Well, yeah, it's Cena versus Cody, and Cargo probably versus Tiffy. I don't think she's going against Io Sky, is she?
No.
And the Cargo Tiffy thing, there's no chemistry there yet. So now you have like a month to build up chemistry. Who's there?
In the middle of a live production here, huh? No, it's okay. Come here. All right. Fix that. Yeah. Evidently, the garden hose went in the backyard, and it was going anyway. But it's just like, how often do you like really go through a garden hose? I'm like, this is supposed to be okay. I'm not too worried about the losing that. Why? $35. There's 100 foot. Like I don't gotta put 2 together or nothing. I got 100 freaking foot premium hose. I think that could be the way I go. That'll be I don't know. Jeez, I'm getting old when I think that's a fucking birthday present, but here we are. Or even better, it's like pressure washer attachments so I can get the gutters and shit. Things you never really think of, or what dad shit. Where's Mike? He's like sometimes hit or miss, or
I'm not answering that right now.
What?
He forgot. I have to text him an hour before just to make sure he remembers that we're doing something.
Yeah.
So.
No, I did the show with him last week. Right. That worked out swell. Trying to think of any buddy. We're going to start exploring and reaching out with this too, especially when I have kind of a production otherwise ready to go. I'm excited. We're looking good. We are developing and I say that every week, but I mean that. As far as what I'm doing production wise,
Right.
Video production wise, and all that, and just fucking running the background here. So it's like, okay, next week could be different too, because I realized, okay, yeah, I was gonna drill and put up my lights and stuff. But anyway, a good seeing you, pal. As always, a good show. We're definitely looking forward to the main event. But I think we'll see what we're looking at next Sunday.
Yeah, well, we'll know more next week. So
yeah, that's definitely true too. I think the rest of it is going to be a big build up for main event, because they're only going to have like another 2 matches or so.
Right. So all we know is the one match.
Okay, there's going to be several more matches. How
Let me
many
see
was
if
on the
anything.
last one? It's only like a couple of matches, isn't it? But still, same thing here. Be interesting to see what the other 2 are. I would love to see a fucking tag title situation. At least, I know they're going to do so, especially with SummerSlam. We will see at least some different titles defended.
So they think there's going to be.
I just want to see DIY fight. That's I'll be happy.
What's with Dominic? Is he going to be fully healthy?
Is that kid ever fully healthy? I don't know. I forgot about that too. How much time is he really taking off? Or they didn't really say how much time he's looking to take off. He's too young for injuries, but
You never know when things happen. So yeah. So people are saying that it's going to be AJ Styles versus Mysterio. Someone predicts that Cena and Rhodes are going to have a contract signing. Why do it on a freaking PLE? Bailey versus Lyra. Seth Rollins versus
that could be a
Punk.
good. That would be that would. I'd have that as the main event.
What, Rollins versus CM Punk?
No, Bailey and
Valkyrie, Lyra.
Yeah. I think Bailey and Lyra would be. Like I said, I would put that as the main event. I mean, geez. Like I said,
I'm trying to see what
that
people
booking
are
will
trying to
come
predict.
pretty quick, but a lot of it too, it'd be after a build up for it. Like,
yeah. Another person has a prediction of Flair and Bliss versus Green and Niven. And then they have Aleister Black versus R-Truth, but I think that's going to happen on SmackDown. Someone says Sikoa and JC Mateo versus Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso. These are just people predicting matches they think is going to happen.
Yeah, I'm just saying, when you get into some of these hypotheticals, we could say any
Someone
number.
Thinks that they're going to throw in all the tag teams for a championship match.
That could be fun.
I don't know how you're going to get 6 people to battle each other in a ring.
Right.
That's 6 tag teams, especially.
Yeah. I'm trying to picture that, and it's just like that could be a train wreck. I could see like I could see a botchmania going on with something like that.
So another person said it's going to be the faction versus Punk, Sammy, and Penta.
Is that what they're calling it now? The faction?
I'm just, because we don't know what they are, so I'm just calling it the faction.
No, that could be the name. I don't know.
So, but yeah, so people have ideas, but I don't know. We'll see. Right now, there's one guaranteed match. They can go a lot of different ways. There's usually what, like 3 or 4 matches?
That's what I was wondering. As far as the Saturday night's main event, what was it, 3 or 4? I want to say 3 matches, 3 bigger-ish matches. Yeah, it's definitely 3 matches.
They should do. So what they should do is they should do the tag team titles.
Mm-hmm.
They should do, of course, they're going to do in the Goldberg and Gunther. And then they can probably do a Bailey, Lyra, whoever wins faces Becky at, Survivor Series, not Survivor, SummerSlam.
Well, I think Becky's just going to do a run-in and kind of imply that.
Which is going to cause a 3-way match for SummerSlam.
Right.
And then they can do like one other match, depending on which, the angles of what they want to go. But what they can do with the tag team, since like there's 6 of them, have them wrestle like on SmackDown, all 3, have all 6 wrestle on SmackDown. The 3 people that win, the teams, face off against each other on Sunday Night Main Event. Probably won't do it that way.
No.
But we'll see.
That would be the way to go, though.
Because 6 teams going all at once, it becomes a battle royal, and there's no control on that. And I hate these gauntlet things where, okay, they beat one team, and the next team comes in, they beat that team, the next team comes in, they beat, it's just stupid.
Yeah,
Like, I
and it's just
understand,
like
like,
they had that one that tag team that gets to hell. They go, get up to the end, and you get the last team that they were gonna put in, and just beat them at the end after the other team just
right,
went
just make
through
it
the gauntlet of hell just to get to that point.
make it worthwhile. Like, you want to throw in not have the champions as part of the gauntlet thing, then have it where Andrade and Phoenix wrestle, and then there's your 6 tag teams, and then they all go against each other, and then they face, then you have 4 tag teams going against each other at the PLE. Like, there's ways of doing it. It's just,
Yeah. Even with the story wise, if they were going to take the time and effort to put in too
right.
much of
Like,
a
you can
story
have
in
2
between.
title matches, and then the other 2 matches, like one for a future title match, and then the other one just throw in another match. Like, it makes it more exciting than this. Like, there was so much to offer, and I know I'm beating a dead horse, but they just
Yeah,
dropped the ball. Like,
yeah,
so I
I
don't know.
concur.
It needs to get better. We're pondering, like, what is the point of us watching wrestling? Oh, it's because of the podcast.
I'm still pissed about the tables, but at least we don't have was it the fire ladders, the flaming ladder? Oh yeah,
I'm sure the ladder was there.
yeah. or whatever. Sheesh. It'd be wonder what the ladders are before next. Then another
Was there
Netflix
was there any
show.
other promotions other than the Riot seasons?
They're always That's the thing that with Raw. They're always pushing some things and some shows that
Right,
they get
but I
coming
don't
out
think
on.
I saw any other promotions. There was nothing on the turnbuckles, nothing else on the ring.
No,
Like, this is
which is
all for Saudi
good. We
Arabia.
could have the WWE logo on the turnbuckles. We could have just plain red, white, and blue ropes is what we should have. Or, white or something. They keep screwing around with that, but it should be consistent. And it's meh. But like I gotta give
I
them
know.
a little bit there where I'm just thinking they're fucking around and finding out what they're doing. And a part of that, I think, too, is the advertising. I'd like to see if anything gets scaled back as far as advertising,
No,
especially
I
if you
don't think
break
so.
out the tables. That
This match is brought to you by 7.
I could deal with that without a 7-Eleven logo being on, something
The
like
bottom
that.
turnbuckle.
I pay more. I would actually like respect or and pay more attention, to Michael Cole. It's like, oh well, this is brought to us by this, that, and another thing, and go on a little bit about it, and that's it as far as commercials. Okay, we know who it's by, and this, that, and another thing. You gotta have all these advertisers, all pissing away money,
They
diving off.
have all these advertisements, and yet the prices of these freaking tickets are ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it to a dark show anytime soon. You know what I mean? It's
Even the
just
house shows are expensive.
But
So,
that's what I think. What a lot of things we're looking at, and needless to say, a lot of fans ain't gonna like it. But I guess with getting into the Logan Paul crowd, and they want the bigger, arenas, bigger this, that, and another thing. They want huge sales. The potential is there, but they still have to have a better product to fill it. And they're, like I said, I think they're really trying to balance things out. But this one did not go well. I think the injuries, the injury bug that's been going around threw quite a few monkey wrenches, particularly into this PLE. That's my take on it.
yeah, they need to figure stuff out. All right, well, they have Raw
I'm thinking as far as recording though, it's just like okay, same bad time, same bad channel next week.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I'm just saying we'll definitely keep in touch because it's like hell. As far as I know, I could be laying out watching the Michaela Saka game and just coming in at this time too. So it's just like
Right.
this time of year, it's fun. But also too on shitty days, I'll be right down here. I'll fill in all the in betweens. I had a lot of stuff planned as far as editing, and I'll should be able to get that out tomorrow. I went through a lot of pain in the last week or three with production and learning certain hiccups and like, okay, what's this error message now? Why is it not uploading? And every step there's always something. But that's with like how am I learning to do what I'm doing with all this and putting this together? Raffo. fucking around and finding out. That's really what I'm getting into and doing down here. But we'll see how we do after fucking around this week. But I'm also gonna have some time at getting darker in the backyard.
Right. All right, man.
Stopping it here, but I was just gonna say,